Reading in English can be one of the most rewarding and enriching ways to improve your language skills. Whether you're diving into a novel, skimming through news articles, or analyzing academic texts, reading offers a gateway to understanding the culture, vocabulary, and structure of the language. In today's episode, we'll explore the various strategies you can use to become a more effective reader in English, from the basics of skimming and scanning to the more advanced techniques of deep comprehension and critical analysis. By the end of this episode, you'll have a toolbox of reading strategies that will not only help you understand texts better but also enhance your overall English proficiency. Let's begin with the foundation of reading in English: skimming and scanning. These two techniques are essential for anyone who wants to quickly identify the main ideas or specific information in a text. Skimming is the process of reading through a text quickly to get a general idea of the content. It's like taking a bird's-eye view of the material. You're not focusing on every word or sentence but rather on the overall message. Skimming is particularly useful when you're short on time and need to grasp the main points of an article or a report. Scanning, on the other hand, is all about finding specific information in a text. When you scan, you're looking for particular words, numbers, or phrases that are relevant to your needs. For example, if you're reading a news article and want to know the date of an event, you would scan the text for that specific detail. Scanning is a great way to locate information quickly without getting bogged down by unnecessary details. Once you've mastered skimming and scanning, it's time to move on to more in-depth reading techniques. One of the most important skills in this area is understanding context. Context refers to the surrounding information in a text that helps you understand the meaning of unfamiliar words or phrases. For example, if you come across a word you don't know, look at the sentences before and after it. Often, these sentences will give you clues about what the word means. This is especially useful when you encounter new vocabulary while reading. Another key strategy for improving your reading skills is to focus on understanding the main idea of each paragraph. In most well-written texts, each paragraph has a central idea that the author wants to convey. This main idea is often stated in the first sentence of the paragraph, but not always. Sometimes it's implied, and you have to infer it from the details provided. By identifying the main idea, you can better understand the overall structure and argument of the text. Let's also talk about the importance of making predictions while you read. Predicting is a strategy where you use clues from the text, as well as your own knowledge and experience, to guess what will happen next or what the author will say next. This keeps you engaged with the material and helps you stay focused. As you read, ask yourself questions like, "What do I think this chapter will be about?" Or, "What might happen next in the story?" Making predictions not only enhances your comprehension but also makes reading more interactive and enjoyable. Another powerful technique is annotating the text as you read. Annotation involves making notes in the margins of the text, underlining or highlighting key points, and writing down questions or comments. This active reading strategy helps you engage more deeply with the material and improves your retention of the information. If you're reading a book or article online, you can use digital tools to highlight and make notes. Annotation is especially useful for complex texts where you need to keep track of multiple ideas or arguments. Let's move on to the topic of reading for different purposes. Not all reading is the same, and the way you read should vary depending on your goal. For example, if you're reading for pleasure, you might take your time, savoring the language and enjoying the story. But if you're reading for information, say, studying for an exam or researching a topic, you'll want to be more focused and methodical in your approach. Understanding the purpose of your reading helps you choose the right strategies and makes your reading more effective. Another important aspect of reading in English is vocabulary building. As you read, you're bound to encounter new words. Instead of glossing over them, take the time to look them up and understand their meanings. You can keep a vocabulary journal where you write down new words, their definitions, and example sentences. Over time, this practice will significantly expand your vocabulary and help you understand more complex texts. Let's talk about the role of critical thinking in reading. Critical thinking involves analyzing and evaluating the information you read rather than just accepting it at face value. This is especially important when reading argumentative or persuasive texts. Ask yourself questions like, what is the author's main argument? What evidence do they provide to support their claims? And do I agree with their conclusions? By engaging critically with the text, you become an active reader and improve your ability to understand and interpret complex ideas. Now, let's discuss the concept of summarizing. Summarizing is the process of condensing a text into its essential points. After you've finished reading a chapter, article, or book, try to summarize it in a few sentences or a short paragraph. This helps reinforce your understanding of the material and makes it easier to recall the information later. Summarizing is also a great way to practice your writing skills, as it forces you to distill complex ideas into clear, concise language. Another useful strategy is questioning the text. As you read, don't just passively absorb the information, actively engage with it by asking questions. For example, you might ask, what is the author trying to say here? Why did the character make that decision? Or, what evidence supports this claim? Asking questions helps you stay focused and encourages deeper comprehension. It also makes reading a more interactive and thought-provoking experience. Let's not forget about the importance of rereading. Sometimes, especially with complex or dense texts, reading something once isn't enough to fully understand it. Don't be afraid to go back and read a passage again if you didn't quite get it the first time. Rereading allows you to catch details you might have missed and solidifies your understanding of the material. It's a key strategy for mastering challenging texts. Another technique that can enhance your reading comprehension is visualizing. As you read, try to create mental images of the scenes, characters, or concepts described in the text. Visualization helps you connect with the material on a deeper level and makes it easier to remember details. This technique is particularly useful when reading descriptive passages in novels or complex explanations in nonfiction texts. Let's explore the idea of connecting the text to your own experiences. When you relate what you're reading to your personal life, it becomes more meaningful and easier to understand. For example, if you're reading a story about a character facing a difficult decision, think about a time when you were in a similar situation. How did you feel? What did you do? Making these connections helps you engage more deeply with the text and improves your comprehension. Another great way to enhance your reading skills is by discussing what you've read with others. Joining a book club, participating in a reading group, or simply talking about a text with friends can give you new perspectives and insights. When you discuss a book or article with others, you're exposed to different interpretations and ideas that can deepen your understanding of the material. Plus, explaining your thoughts and opinions to others is a great way to reinforce your own comprehension. Let's talk about the benefits of reading a variety of genres. Don't limit yourself to just one type of text. Explore fiction, nonfiction, poetry, and even plays. Each genre offers different challenges and opportunities for learning. For example, reading fiction can improve your empathy and understanding of human behavior, while nonfiction can expand your knowledge on a wide range of topics. Poetry can teach you about the beauty and rhythm of language, and plays can give you insights into dialogue and character development. By reading widely, you develop a more well-rounded understanding of English. Another important aspect of reading in English is understanding the tone and mood of a text. Tone refers to the author's attitude toward the subject, while mood is the feeling that the text evokes in the reader. For example, a text might have a serious tone but create a somber mood. Understanding tone and mood helps you grasp the subtleties of a text and improves your overall comprehension. Let's also discuss the importance of context in understanding a text. Context refers to the circumstances or setting in which a text was written, including historical, cultural, and social factors. Understanding the context of a text can provide valuable insights into its meaning and significance. For example, a novel written during the Victorian era might reflect the social norms and values of that time. By learning about the context, you can better appreciate the themes and messages of the text. Another strategy to enhance your reading skills is to practice paraphrasing. Paraphrasing involves rewriting a passage in your own words while retaining the original meaning. This exercise forces you to think critically about the text and helps you internalize the information. It's also a great way to check your understanding of a passage. If you can accurately paraphrase it, you've likely grasped its meaning. Let's talk about the role of inference in reading. Inference involves drawing conclusions based on the information provided in the text, as well as your own knowledge and experience. Often, authors imply things rather than stating them outright, so it's up to you to infer the meaning. For example, if a character in a story is described as avoiding eye contact and speaking softly, you might infer that they're shy or uncomfortable. Developing your inference skills will help you read between the lines and understand texts on a deeper level. It also gives you a sense of accomplishment when you achieve your goals, which can boost your confidence and encourage you to read even more. Remember, setting small, achievable goals can lead to big improvements over time. Another important aspect of becoming a better reader in English is learning to identify the author's purpose. Why did the author write this text? What do they want the reader to learn, feel, or do after reading it? Understanding the author's purpose helps you interpret the text more accurately and can give you insights into its deeper meaning. For example, a news article might be written to inform, a novel to entertain, or a persuasive essay to convince. By identifying the purpose, you can better understand the choices the author made in terms of language, tone, and content. Let's talk about the strategy of reading aloud. Reading aloud can significantly improve your comprehension and fluency in English. When you read aloud, you're forced to slow down and pay more attention to the words and sentences. This can help you catch details you might miss when reading silently. It's also a great way to practice pronunciation and intonation. If you're not comfortable reading aloud in front of others, try reading to yourself or recording your voice and playing it back to hear how you sound. Another effective technique is to summarize what you've read. After finishing a text, take a moment to summarize the main points in your own words. This exercise reinforces your understanding and helps you remember the key information. Summarizing is especially useful for longer texts or complex articles where it's easy to lose track of the main ideas. Let's also explore the concept of building background knowledge. Before diving into a new text, especially one on a challenging or unfamiliar topic, take some time to research the subject. Understanding the basic concepts, terminology, or historical context can make the reading process much smoother and more enjoyable. For example, if you're about to read a novel set during a specific historical period, learning a bit about that era can help you understand the characters' actions and the setting. Another tip is to make use of online resources and tools. There are countless websites, apps, and platforms designed to help English learners improve their reading skills. From interactive ebooks with built-in dictionaries to forums where you can discuss books with others, these resources can make reading more engaging and accessible. Take advantage of these tools to expand your reading opportunities and deepen your understanding of English texts. Now, let's talk about the role of perseverance in reading. Not every text will be easy, and there will be times when you feel frustrated or overwhelmed. But remember, every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. Don't give up if you encounter a difficult passage or unfamiliar words. Push through and use the strategies we've discussed to help you. Over time, these challenges will become less daunting, and your confidence as a reader will grow. Another useful strategy is to practice active reading. Active reading involves engaging with the text as you read, rather than passively absorbing the information. This might include highlighting key points, asking questions, or making predictions about what will happen next. Active reading keeps your mind focused and helps you retain information more effectively. Let's discuss the idea of reading for pleasure versus reading for study. While it's important to read for study, reading for pleasure is just as valuable. When you read for fun, you're more likely to engage with the material and enjoy the process. This positive experience can motivate you to read more often and help you develop a love for reading in English. Whether it's a thrilling novel, an interesting blog, or a comic book, find materials that you enjoy and make time to read them regularly. Another technique to improve your reading skills is to vary your reading speed. Not every text requires the same level of attention or speed. For example, you might skim through a newspaper article quickly but read a challenging academic paper more slowly. Learning to adjust your reading speed based on the material can make you a more efficient and effective reader. Let's also talk about the benefits of reading in English for your overall language learning. Reading exposes you to new vocabulary, sentence structures, and cultural references, all of which contribute to your language proficiency. It also reinforces what you've learned in other areas, such as listening, speaking, and writing. The more you read, the more familiar you become with the rhythms and patterns of the English language, making it easier to use in your everyday life. Another strategy is to reflect on what you've read. After finishing a text, take some time to think about it. What did you learn? How did it make you feel? Did it change your perspective on anything? Reflecting on your reading helps deepen your understanding and makes the experience more meaningful. You might even want to keep a reading journal where you write down your thoughts and reactions to what you've read. Let's explore the idea of reading different types of texts. Don't limit yourself to just books. Explore a variety of text types, such as articles, essays, short stories, poetry, and even graphic novels. Each type of text offers unique challenges and opportunities for learning. For example, reading poetry can help you appreciate the beauty of language, while reading essays can improve your critical thinking skills. By diversifying your reading materials, you can develop a more well-rounded understanding of English. Another useful technique is to set reading challenges for yourself. For example, you might challenge yourself to read a certain number of books in a month or to read a book from every genre. Setting challenges keeps your reading interesting and helps you stay motivated. Plus, it's a fun way to track your progress and see how much you've improved over time. Let's discuss the importance of understanding text structure. Most well-written texts follow a certain structure, such as an introduction, body, and conclusion. Understanding the structure can help you navigate the text more effectively and identify the main points. For example, in an essay, the introduction typically presents the main argument, the body provides evidence to support that argument, and the conclusion summarizes the main points. By recognizing these patterns, you can better understand and remember the information. Another technique that can enhance your reading skills is to practice reading with a purpose. Before you start reading, ask yourself what you want to get out of the text. Are you reading for information, entertainment, or study? Setting a clear purpose helps you stay focused and makes your reading more efficient. It also helps you choose the right strategies and techniques for the task at hand. Let's also talk about the importance of reading critically. Critical reading involves analyzing and evaluating the information you read, rather than just accepting it at face value. This means questioning the author's arguments, looking for evidence, and considering different perspectives. Critical reading helps you develop a deeper understanding of the text and improves your ability to think independently. Another useful strategy is to practice reading in chunks. Instead of reading a text from start to finish in one go, try breaking it down into smaller sections and focusing on each one individually. This makes the text more manageable and allows you to concentrate on understanding each part before moving on. It's a great way to tackle longer or more complex texts without feeling overwhelmed. Let's explore the idea of using reading strategies for different genres. Different genres of text require different reading approaches. For example, when reading fiction, you might focus on the characters, plot, and themes, while when reading nonfiction, you might pay more attention to the facts, arguments, and evidence. Understanding the specific demands of each genre helps you tailor your reading strategies and get the most out of the material. Another important aspect of reading in English is building your background knowledge. The more you know about a subject, the easier it is to understand texts related to that subject. For example, if you're reading a book about World War II, having some knowledge of the historical events and key figures involved will help you understand the book better. Building background knowledge is an ongoing process, and reading widely on a variety of topics can help you expand your knowledge base. Let's talk about the role of visualization in reading. Visualization involves creating mental images of the scenes, characters, or concepts described in the text. This technique can help you connect with the material on a deeper level and improve your comprehension. For example, when reading a novel, try to picture the characters and settings in your mind as you read. This makes the story more vivid and memorable. Another strategy to enhance your reading skills is to practice reading in English every day. Consistency is key when it comes to improving your reading ability. Even if you can only spare a few minutes each day, making reading a daily habit will lead to significant improvements over time. Plus, reading regularly helps you stay engaged with the language and reinforces what you've learned. Let's also explore the idea of reading with others. Whether it's joining a book club, participating in a reading group, or discussing a text with a friend, reading with others can provide valuable insights and new perspectives. When you discuss a book or article with others, you're exposed to different interpretations and ideas that can deepen your understanding of the material. It's also a great way to practice your speaking and listening skills in English. Another useful technique is to practice speed reading. Speed reading involves training yourself to read more quickly while still maintaining comprehension. This skill can be particularly useful when you need to read large volumes of material in a short amount of time. There are various techniques you can use to improve your reading speed, such as minimizing subvocalization, improving your eye movement, and practicing with a timer. However, it's important to strike a balance between speed and comprehension. Reading too quickly can lead to misunderstandings or missing important details. Let's discuss the idea of reading for relaxation. While it's important to read for study and self-improvement, reading for relaxation is just as valuable. When you read for relaxation, you're allowing yourself to enjoy the language and story without the pressure of analyzing or remembering every detail. This can help reduce stress and make reading a pleasurable activity. Reading for relaxation also reinforces your language skills in a more natural and enjoyable way, making it easier to absorb new vocabulary and structures. Another strategy to improve your reading skills is to explore different reading environments. Sometimes, changing your environment can make a big difference in your concentration and enjoyment of reading. Try reading in different places, such as a park, a cafe, or a quiet room at home, and see where you feel most comfortable and focused. A change of scenery can also refresh your mind and make the reading experience more enjoyable. Let's also talk about the importance of rereading. Sometimes, the first time you read a text, you might miss important details or not fully understand the message. Rereading allows you to catch those details and deepen your understanding. It can also help you notice the author's style, word choice, and structure, which you might not have picked up on during the first read. Rereading is particularly useful for complex or dense texts that require a closer look. Another useful technique is to annotate the text as you read. Annotating involves making notes in the margins, underlining key points, or highlighting important sections. This active engagement with the text helps you focus and retain information. It also makes it easier to review the text later, as you can quickly find the parts that were most significant to you. Annotation is a personal process, so find a system that works best for you, whether it's color coding, symbols, or simple notes. Let's explore the idea of connecting what you read to your own life. When you find ways to relate the text to your own experiences, interests, or beliefs, it becomes more meaningful and easier to understand. For example, if you're reading a story about friendship, think about your own friendships and how they compare to the ones in the story. This personal connection not only makes the reading experience more enjoyable but also helps you remember and internalize the content. Another important aspect of improving your reading skills is to read a variety of authors and writing styles. Every author has a unique voice, and by reading works from different writers, you expose yourself to different ways of using language. This can broaden your understanding of English and give you a richer perspective on how the language can be used. Whether it's classic literature, contemporary fiction, or nonfiction, exploring different authors helps you appreciate the diversity of English writing. Let's also discuss the value of reading in your own language alongside your English reading. If you're bilingual or multilingual, reading in your native language can support your English reading skills. It helps reinforce concepts and ideas that you may find challenging in English, and it can make the transition between languages smoother. Plus, reading in your native language keeps you connected to your cultural background and identity, which is an important part of your overall language journey. Another useful strategy is to practice reading with different formats. Books are a great resource, but don't limit yourself to just print. Try reading ebooks, articles online, audiobooks, or even watching subtitled videos. Each format offers a different experience and can help you engage with the language in new ways. For example, audiobooks can improve your listening skills and help you get used to the natural rhythm and flow of English speech, while reading online articles can expose you to current events and conversational language. Let's talk about the importance of setting a reading schedule. Just like with any other skill, consistency is key when it comes to improving your reading ability. Set aside a specific time each day or week dedicated to reading in English. This routine helps you make reading a habit and ensures that you're regularly engaging with the language. Whether it's in the morning with a cup of coffee or before bed, find a time that works best for you and stick to it. Another technique to improve your reading skills is to practice reading comprehension questions. After reading a text, try answering questions about its content, such as the main idea, key details, or the author's purpose. This practice helps reinforce what you read and ensures that you're understanding the material on a deeper level. You can find reading comprehension exercises online, in textbooks, or even create your own questions based on the text. Let's also discuss the idea of reading with a critical eye. Critical reading involves questioning and analyzing the text rather than accepting it at face value. This means considering the author's perspective, looking for bias or assumptions, and evaluating the strength of the arguments presented. Critical reading helps you become a more thoughtful and discerning reader, which is especially important when reading persuasive or argumentative texts. Another useful strategy is to build your vocabulary through reading. As you read, make a note of any new or unfamiliar words. Look them up in a dictionary and try to understand their meaning in the context of the sentence. Then, practice using these words in your own sentences to reinforce your understanding. Building your vocabulary not only improves your reading skills but also enhances your overall proficiency in English. Let's also talk about the benefits of reading a variety of genres. Each genre offers unique challenges and opportunities for learning. For example, reading fiction can improve your imagination and empathy, while reading nonfiction can increase your knowledge and critical thinking skills. By exploring different genres, you can develop a more well-rounded understanding of English and discover new interests and passions along the way. Another important aspect of improving your reading skills is to stay patient and persistent. Reading in a second language can be challenging, and there will be times when you feel frustrated or discouraged. But remember that progress takes time, and every bit of reading you do is contributing to your growth as a reader. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and keep pushing yourself to improve. Let's discuss the role of feedback in improving your reading skills. If possible, seek feedback from a teacher, tutor, or even a friend who is fluent in English. They can provide insights into your reading strengths and areas for improvement. Feedback helps you identify any habits or patterns that might be holding you back and gives you concrete steps to take in your learning journey. Another technique that can enhance your reading experience is to participate in discussions about what you've read. Whether it's in a classroom, online forum, or with friends, discussing a text helps you articulate your thoughts and hear different perspectives. It's also a great way to practice your speaking and listening skills in English. Engaging in discussions makes reading a more interactive and social activity, which can deepen your understanding and enjoyment of the material. Finally, remember that reading is a lifelong skill. The more you read, the more you learn, and the more you grow as a person. Reading opens doors to new worlds, ideas, and experiences. It's not just about improving your English, it's about enriching your life. So, keep reading, stay curious, and enjoy the journey.